University of Malaysia. Yeah, just as a follow-up to what the brother has said, and I'm very glad I read that article of yours, you're right, published in 2008. Now, my concern here is about the issue of practice and theory. There's a big gap. If I read from that article, there's a big gap between the theory and practice of Islamic finance. And some get an illusion when we explain the theory that Islamic finance is 100% Islamic in theory. But if you see in practice, it doesn't reflect that theory. And a lot of things that drive Islamic finance doesn't have Islamic economics theory behind them, whether you're talking about pricing and a lot of things. And I think these are the key issues that maybe we need to look at and highlight to the public, that yes, there are limitations, and we have to roll the Islamic Bank. It has to go through. But again, this gap between the theory and practice has become very, very fundamental, which I think the Sheikh could share light. And the second thing is from your earlier discussion, I like it, on the epistemology of knowledge, which I think many of the early scholars discuss, whether rights can be determined based on fitrah, on knowledge, or revelation. So the issue of that interrelationship between reason, revelation, and fitrah, I think that would be interesting if you share light on that. Thank you.
About the first question, I have, I think, alluded very briefly that I said that what the present Islamic banks are doing is not an ideal. Ideal in the sense of maqasid al-sharia. But so far as their permissibility is concerned, we cannot say that it is haram. Because if they are really following the restrictions given by Sharia. So I always I took from the day one, I am saying and continue to say that this is the first step towards Islamization of economy or Islamization of at least financial institutions. This is the first step. But unless you take first step, you cannot go to another step. So some people say that no, unless you reach the roof, you cannot take any step. So I am against it. I am saying that this first step must be taken and must be content with it for some time due to the certain limitations we have, legal limitations, regular limitations, personal limitations. For example, if both ways are open for big companies, that they borrow money from on the basis of interest and borrow money, take money as an investor from a bank on the basis of musharaka. No. So if there are some weak companies, they will jump at the idea because they feel that if we lose, somebody will bear the loss. But the blue chip companies will say that no, if we are getting 5%, giving 5%, why should we give 20% or 25% as a share? So these are some limitations. We are living in this. So far as we are in this scenario, we must accept that this first step must be taken, and at the same time we must keep in our mind that we have not do not have to sit on this. We must go forward at some time. Your second question is very delicate, but I feel that when I say that revelation is the basic source of knowledge after reason, I think that revelation and fitrah, there is no difference between the two. Revelation is the fitrah. Fitratullah allati fatara an-nas 'alayha, la tabdila li khalqillah. So, briefly I can say that fitrah and revelation is the same, and after reason we have to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We can get one last question if there is any. Okay then. Before closing, As Sheikh Takî mentioned, which really touched me as well, when he said to acquire knowledge, you need to have the five senses, and that's not only enough. Of course, we need to have reason as well, because the five senses are possessed by animals as well. I mean, animals do hear, do smell, do touch as well, but they don't have reason, and therefore they don't have responsibilities. So for us, being able to have the five senses, and also for us being able to have reason, makes us responsible in many senses. And in this regard, that's why we actually came together for the last 2 days and today, to basically do our responsibilities, do our duty, and inshallah in the future be able to establish a more humanitarian and Islamic system, which is the only natural system. Before Sheikh Takî leaves, I would like to invite again the Vice Rector, Professor Dr. Arif Ersoy, on stage to give the gifts to our guests. And also I would like to invite Sheikh Bilal Khan, Dr. Takî Osmânî, and Mustafa Khan Osmani on stage.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. These presents are very important because they are knowledge solving problems of our time. Thank you very much. But it is a very responsible to taking them because you, put burden to our shoulder to make tabligh. To make tabligh to the people. Inshallah, with our team, we will try to make tabligh.
We really appreciate you because just 2 weeks ago we went and I requested you that you should have in the Islamic University that program. And mashallah, you arranged all that thing in a very short period.
With the
very much grateful for you.
With the help of Allah, with the support of my team. Yeah. Yeah, that is a gift from our university. A gift from our team.
Thank you very much.
To start.
This is a very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is for unfortunately Dr. Muhammad. So if I should burden you to convey this book.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one more thing, if we could discuss outside about our collaboration from Pakistan for our Jamia with this Jamia, so that in future we could have some Islamic courses.
Inshallah.
No, my father is leaving now. Just we can have a few minutes.
But the program will continue.
Yeah.
The program will continue.
Yeah.
I'll just announce it.
Thank you, sir. We are always very need
We will have now a 5 minutes break, inshallah, and then we will come together. Let's stick to 5 minutes, please, inshallah. Yes. Okay, thank you very much.